so that we can review to make sure that whatever these complaints were, they were all satisfied and there's no further problems with it before we allow you to continue to bill, because there was some serious violations here that we had to make sure that they're resolved. Okay?
Can I have a copy of the violation, because I didn't know that. That's why I'm so, right now I'm a little bit surprised. Sure.
I will turn it back over to the counselor and he will do whatever, and at some point, can you give Ms. Bonilla a copy to give to the board so that by the next meeting, we'll have a copy of the complaint and if there's any result.
When was the violation?
These are from October of '23. It was just in the court's, it was just in village court. This property was in village court over the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
So I'm not sure which violations were on the court's calendar that day.
Okay.
Not every violation lands on the same day.
Adjourn.
This was recent.
Okay.
There was a do not enter order that was placed on the property in December of last year as well.
Interesting.
Yeah, this is a big red sign posted on the door.
No, the thing is, I mean, we started to do this, that's why I'm a little surprised, because we started to do the job before December.
Okay.
And then,
You represent the owner then?
yes,
Well, maybe they just didn't share that with you.
I mean, that's what I've been looking for interesting.
I just have one last question.
So
Is,
to reflect that.
do you have a basement or
Yes,
cellar?
I have a basement.
Okay.
Okay, and that, so this case will be adjourned. I make a motion that we adjourn case number 1200, 30 Burston Street, until we investigate the court, what do you call it? Violations that was submitted in court 2 weeks ago.
Second.
Ms. Turner?
Yes.
Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Chairperson Pettis?
Yes.
Thank you, have a good night.
Okay, thank you. Before we go into the big one, just see if 1186 and 87 is here.
Okay, at this time, I'll call case number 1186, application of 306 Main Street, section 34, block 186, lot 191, 192, and 290, for site plan approval of certified auto group auto dealership.
State your name and address.
I'll be on Portland, Valley Stream, New York, 11580.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give this evening will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and nothing else in perjury?
Yes. Eitan. E-I-T-A-N.
I don't think we have, no. Oh, it's with these are
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was something new you were submitting.
86, yeah.
1186. Okay, yes, sir, we have them.
Am I making a statement, or am I waiting for a question?
Okay. So can you please, sir, tell us what you plan to do with this space?
Yeah, so it was a previous used car dealership. We're just taking it over as a used car dealership and a service facility for the used cars that we'll be selling. So 306 is the sales department, the sales area, and 302 is the service facility.
Okay, so, all right, so we're gonna deal with the 306 first,
Sure.
which is the sales.
Yes.
Okay. This is the sales. Okay. So the lease for 10 years, I know we may have to ask the same questions on 302, but for 306, you have a 10-year lease, correct?
Yes.
And 10 employees for the sales? So we're just talking about the sales part?
Yeah, just the sales aspect, right?
So 10 employees for the sales, okay.
So you're not doing any major alterations to the property at all?
No, we have a permit that we filed already to remove some walls from the inside and just We already have a sign, for a while, we filed a permit, the sign's already on the building. Everything else pretty much remains the same.
Okay.
I think we didn't have a copy of the sign.
May have received it.
Hmm?
The signage was an issue for us.
Okay. Signage. I'm looking for your sign application.
It was filed by a company a while ago.
Oh,
They put
that's
it
the
up.
one? This is what they're using? Maybe I overlooked it. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
We don't have any phone numbers, but I guess it's not
No,
necessary.
not for that,
Yeah,
please.
okay.
All right, I don't have any further questions. Does anybody else? You good?
Yep.
All right. If there's no further business or questions to the applicant, I'll accept the motion.
I move that we accept case number 1186, application for site plan approval, certified auto group, auto dealership on premises located at 306 Main Street, section 34, block 186, lots 191, 192, and 290 in Hempstead, New York, for site plan approval.
Second,
Awesome.
Ms. Turner?
yes.
Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Chairperson Pettis?
Yes.
At this time, I'll call case 1187, application of 302 Main Street, section 34, block 186, lot 288, for site plan approval of certified auto group auto repair.
You have
So-
been,
Yeah, so this is just a repair facility. It's right next door to the building. It's just gonna be servicing our vehicles that we sell.
so this one's concurrent with 306, the lease term,
Correct, yes.
yes. 2 to 3 employees.
Yeah, it's gonna have about 3 employees.
Okay. Okay. All right, I don't have any questions.
Questions?
If there's no further questions, someone can make a motion?
I move that case number 1187, application for site plan approval of certified auto group auto repair on premises located at 302 Main Street, section 34, block 186, lot 288 in Hempstead, New York, 11550 be approved.
I second. Chairperson Rogers.
Ms. Turner?
Yes.
Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Chairperson Pettis?
Yes,
Congratulations.
thank you.
Okay.
At this time, I call case number 1171, application for site plan approval of new construction of a 3-story, 36-unit multiple dwelling, alteration of existing building, and subdivision of plot on premises located at 160 Marvin Avenue, section 34, block 367, lot 130.
Good evening, Chairwoman, members of the board, Christian Brown, McLaughlin and Stern, 1122 Franklin Avenue, Garden City. For the applicant, I'm joined by our project architect, our project engineer, and the developer is here, as are members of the American Legion, who are in contract to sell part of their premises at 160 Marvin Avenue for the construction of this proposed apartment building. So as you know, we're before you tonight asking for a subdivision approval so that we can split this lot into 2. Sure. Yes.
You are, right?
Yeah, correct. Still in.
I assumed, I said you must be moving on because he's in.
So we are proposing to split this lot into 2 new building lots, preserve the existing American Legion building entirely. That's a landmark building, as you probably know, and we have received the blessing of the Town of Hempstead Landmarks Commission for this project. So the American Legion building would be entirely preserved as it is, and it would have 44 parking spots on its lot, which would be about 30,000 square feet. The remainder of the parcel, which is about 40,000 square feet, would then be developed with this 3-story, 36-unit market rate rental building. All of the proceeds from the sale will be going to the American Legion, and that money will allow the Legion, hopefully, to continue to survive. If you'd like, they can explain. their
Prepare
plan.
the inside?
Exactly. If you've seen, as I stressed to the Landmarks Commission, if you go up close to this building, it looks nice from, 100 feet away, but it's in bad shape.
Try going down the basement.
Yeah, I've been inside. I think the building department just did a tour. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done. And in fact, some members of the Legion have advanced their own personal funds to keep this building surviving at all. This sale would allow those people to be paid back, and the investment from the money will allow the Legion to continue on. They will own their parcel outright for free. They don't pay taxes, and so that they will be able to continue on. Obviously, the building parcel would go on the tax rolls. For the first time, the village will receive tax money from it. It's 36 units, combination of 1 and 2 bedrooms. It's 21 bedrooms, 16 2-bedrooms, market rate rentals, 66 parking spots on the building parcel, which exceeds the number in the code, meets all the setback requirements, so there no variances are required. It's in the Residence B district, which allows this multifamily development. It's the legal height, so the building from a zoning perspective is as of right. There will be 2 curb cuts on Marvin Avenue, which are just being slightly relocated from their present locations. There are 2 curb cuts there now, so there is not a substantial change in how the parcel is accessed. There'll be new landscaping. There'll be new lighting in the parking lot, which I'll allow the architect and the engineer to explain to you in greater detail if you'd like. So I know you've all been to the site. It's, with no disrespect to the Legion, it's in tough condition. The parking lot is really
Putting it nicely.
a mess, and all of that would be gone. We would have a new parking lot. There would also be parking underneath the building, as I said. The site will be landscaped. It will be new lighting, new fencing, and you'll get, some nice market rate housing on a parcel that is designated for this type of use under the zoning ordinance. So it's been a long road for us and for the Legion. I know they're anxious to secure approval and move forward to close the deal if this board grants this application and allows us to move forward. So that's the overview. Unless you have questions for me, maybe I could have the architect and the engineer give you some brief testimony, and then, like I said, there's the developer and the members of the Legion are here also if you have any questions for them. All right, if you have any specific questions, please feel free, obviously, and our professionals can answer them.
Is the, I'm sorry, is the parking enclosed? Is it,
Some of it is enclosed, some of it is outside.
okay.
There's some parking under the building and some on the surface.
So, sorry. There's a building not far from there with exposed parking. Are you responsible for that building? Is it anything like that building?
Joe Neitzel, JMN Architecture, 406 North Country Road, St. James.
You swear from the testimony you give this evening, will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. So the parking under the building will be completely enclosed. We'll have one entry point with a security shutter and an egress point with a security shutter. There will be windows to view into it, but it will be under the entire building, completely enclosed.
Mhm.
It won't be, if you don't have your key fob, you won't be able to go in there and walk around the vehicles.
Okay.
My question is just water and sewage. Did you need to get a study for that?
We submitted all of our applications to the respective jurisdictions or third-party consultants, I will say. So they are in the process, and I believe we've gotten verbal back on water, we just don't have it in person. But in speaking with the building department, I'm comfortable with that being a condition of building permit being issued.
Okay.
We've been trying to get the engineer third-party engineers or consultants to village issue these letters. And we would obviously accept the condition of an approval that prior to getting a building permit, we provide the water and sewer letters. But as Joe mentioned, the water has signed off. The sewer, which I believe is Cameron Engineering, has just been a little tough to get a hold of. But we would accept that as a condition that we not get a permit unless and until we provide the building department with those letters.
Are you able to speak to sort of the interior finishes at all? Is
Sure,
there-
we can talk about that, and we can
Yeah.
show you a rendering as well.
Great.
So the building facade will be a combination of hardy plank horizontal siding, Anderson windows is what we're proposing, some brick across the bottom, so it's gonna be a very nice looking facility. You know, we're gonna have some shutters, some AZEK finishes, multiple colors. We're doing tans, so we're gonna have 2 standard tan colors made by hardy plank. Like I said, windows will be Anderson, you know, vinyl windows. As for the interior, as Mr. Brown said, we have 21 bedrooms and 16 two-bedrooms. They will be market rate, all accessible from an interior corridor. Both stories of the apartments will have elevator access and 2 means of egress required by code. They range in square footage from the 1 stories about 850, 875 to up to just over 1,000 for the 2-bedroom square unit.
So your utilities, are you using gas or electric?
We will have all electric heating. There'll be P-TAC units, so each unit will be individually regulated via thermostat for the heating and cooling. Hot water will be a central hot water system, and each unit will be individually metered for electric. No gas in the building, with maybe the exception of a central unit for the corridor heating and cooling in the lobby space.
Got it. Okay. And I know this might get into more detail, but the flooring in each unit, are you doing carpet in the bedrooms, or have you determined that yet?
Not really. I think we're probably going to end up doing luxury vinyl plank throughout, maybe some carpet in the bedrooms, but we're not finalized on that. Bathroom will be either tile or luxury vinyl, but you know, a durable finish that is not easily stained or anything, so it'll probably end up being luxury vinyl throughout.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Any further questions? I don't have any questions. Ms. Kern?
One other thing to add too, each unit will have its own stackable washer and dryer.
Thank you.
I have one quick question. How many doors access the parking? How many door access to the parking garage? The
So
parking
all
area?
the apartments are on the 2nd and 3rd floor. There's a common lobby on the 1st floor,
Uh-huh.
and then you'll use the elevator to get up to the apartments.
Because I see a door on the ground level, so I'm asking how many. You said there's a key fob to get to the parking garage, right?
Correct.
And so how many doors? I see one on this elevation. Is it only one door?
For vehicles, you're saying?
No. I see,
One door along Marvin, correct. One entry door into the lobby if you're not parked under the building. There is also access around the rear of the building to get to that lobby in the elevator space.
Can you get to the parking garage from inside the building?
Correct, yes you can.
There's one door.
Yes.
so
One
there
door
is
along
no,
the street frontage.
there is no garage lift as you access, as you drive up, right? How do you, it's a existing opening all along for you to get into the garage space?
Correct.
Because you said there's shutters. You said something about shutters.
So at night, there's going to be a security shutter. You can see through it. That
Uh-huh.
could be closed at night if we wanted, or it could remain open. People will have key fobs and a key code, so that door
Ah,
rolls
okay.
open and residents can park in the garage.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
And
Earlier plans, you had an exit on Baldwin. I don't see these plans, but is that still in there?
No, it is not. Only on Marvin.
No Marvin?
Correct.
There's 2 more cuts on Marvin, that's it?
Correct.
One for, I guess, one closer to the residential side, one closer to.
Correct. They're pretty close to the existing locations now. We're just shifting a few feet in either direction.
The fourth assembly space in the hall itself, you getting rid of all the assembly space?
Not all, but we're limiting it to just correct me if I'm wrong, the main room. These ancillary rooms that sort of over the years were, I guess many years ago, maybe they were used for assembly, but just really storage rooms now. We've agreed that they will be converted to storage. The assembly will just be in the main room, and I think, I don't, the Legion. Okay, and I think though the Legion is also gonna really curtail its, no, we're not, okay. We're just gonna keep to the legal, we're gonna use only the one room for assembly, joking.
So my office went in there and field verified the existing Legion. We've submitted revised occupancy plans to the village building department, and I believe they've already went and inspected the space, and we're basically limiting occupancy to the bar room and the ancillary spaces around it where the main other spaces are being reallocated. And they're not gonna be occupiable spaces.
Public, okay.
And we would accept that as a condition as well, that we keep to the public occupancy as determined by the building department.
So the parking for the existing building is accessible for the tenants as well? Like if they have guests, they could just park over here? How does that work?
So there will be two separate properties with a shared driveway easement. The allocation of spaces is 44 for the Legion, and the balance will be for the multifamily.
But you can't control anybody if they want to park over here, right? I mean, is there some,
Well, I think the idea, I mean, the Legion property there'll be an easement to allow the Legion to come in through the curb cut and go onto its property. We have enough parking on each parcel
right,
for each use. In fact, we have more than enough for the building. I mean, as a practical matter, most of the time the Legion is not
okay.
using it, so, I mean, people could park there. You know, we can share access, but each one separately meets the code requirements. And so
Okay.
the Legion, again, by limiting this public space, public occupancy areas, we've tailored that so that the parking calculations work, and the building department has signed off on that.
I was just thinking when, excuse me, the Legion has some sort of event and they want their parking space, but I'm so used to parking over here if I don't want to park over here.
Well, in previous iterations, we had gone through the idea of having shared parking and so on and so forth. And what we're trying to do now is just simplify it by limiting the Legion's, occupancy, so it meets the parking requirements, so there shouldn't be a
Okay.
need. It was really more, before the concern was, if the Legion had a lot of people, would they have to park on the apartment building side? And by limiting that down, I don't think that's a concern anymore. I do think sort of as an everyday matter, when, on a Tuesday afternoon, there's not gonna be anybody at the Legion Hall, so
Right,
a couple
okay.
people parked there. I don't think it's too much of an imposition, but we're not contemplating the need that the Legion's guests would interfere with the apartment dwellers' parking.
Right.
Although we have more than double the parking, I mean, we have 36 units and 66 spaces, so I would imagine most of these people would not have more than one car.
Okay.
Thanks. Though I was saying guess, but it's okay.
All right. You good? Okay. If there's no further questions, someone would like to make a motion? I don't think it's necessary. We don't really have that. Okay.
I'll make a motion that application 1171, application of 160 Marvin Street, section 34, block 367, lot 130, for site plan approval of alteration, am I reading this right?
Alteration of existing.
Okay, of existing building and new construction and subdivision of plot, be approved.
I second.
Ms. Turner?
Yes.
Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Chairperson Pettis?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
I see what this is. Yeah. Thank you so much. At this time, I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second it.
The next meeting is April 15th.
Ms. Turner?
Yes.
Mr.
Tax night?
Rogers?
Tax night we coming in?
Mr. Rogers?
I second. Oh, yes,
Mr. Walker?
yes.
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
And Chairperson Pettis?
Yes.